Hello? Is my voice okay? Or is it all crackling? Please tell me. There's a helicopter going overhead. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Pedro, for your beautiful music. Boom! Cut it off abruptly. Because that's what I do. Right, is that the right one? Yeah, let's assume... Oh. What's behind the wizard's curtain? Is it? Yeah. Yeah. How's that? No. Let's keeping errors, eh? No. Bring this closer. Yeah. Production values. That's what we like here in my room where I'm streaming. How's it going, peoples? How's tricks? How's life? Turn off the preview so I get more frames. Yeah, so we're talking about some Star Citizen today. I'm sort of like casually playing in the background as well, getting to ArcCorp again, because they keep on updating and deleting my characters, which I carefully place in all of the major landing zones around the game. I've got like 4 accounts. I put them in the major landing zones when there's a patch. Great for live, because when it's live, bam, the characters don't keep getting reset, and I have to spend 4 or 5 hours a day.
WTF.
Oh, thanks. Bored, what the fuck? Oh, my beautiful face. Thank you very much, Raging Sage. That's a long time to be subscribed to me for. 21 months. 21 months of me saying soon Star Citizen will be getting better. Let's assume a release date for a patch, and always being... No, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. I'm doing fine, thank you very much. Jabbiz, Thank you very much for the subscription-y, primey, sub-a-bob. Very much appreciated. And for all the follows and patrons I've had today. Must be a renewed day for Patreon or something. A lot of patrons today. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, yeah, I just PTU patches. They keep on resetting, so they keep on resetting the location of your characters back to Port Olisar. And when I've got loads of characters around, it takes me like 4 hours a day or something. Didn't I? That was a little bit of hyperbole, or exaggeration. Maybe an hour getting all the characters back in the right place, and I haven't really got them all in the right places. I just put them in Lorville and ArcCorp at the moment. But yes, you don't recognise me without my mohawk. I wish I still had my beautiful, beautiful mohawk. Oh. So today we'll talk about some Star Citizen, like we always do. There's a few things I want to talk about before I get into the questions. We might play a little bit of 3.5 PTU, which we are in the U build. Are we in U? Are we past U? It's the probably around somewhere in the final few letters of the alphabet is where we currently live for the PTU. Could go live any time now. There are some major blockers with the PTU build still. AI is still a bit jittery. Need to get that polished out. The crashes and everything seem to be pretty good. Auto gimbals and pips need to converge and align a little bit better. And they need to get some of those major blockers, which they've stated fixed, which I will quickly look at what they are again. That's a monthly report. That's the latest news. For anyone that doesn't know, I do maintain my own website, which I post slightly edited versions of my YouTube scripts basically up. I just sort of like write the bullet points more out and listen to my own video back and go, this guy's got some good ideas. So the last few problems are ships spawning in the ground at Lorville, players getting stuck in outposts, distances of where the quantum travel points are when you come out of quantum travel or too far away. There's some problems with autopilot and no-fly zones, and as I said, jittery AI, which is a major blocker, and general like performance stuff. But they need to get the AI working consistently is the main thing. There are other things as well, don't get me wrong, but nothing that would block a live build, I don't think. If anyone's got a question, please put question in brackets. It can be anything. It can be Star Citizen related, which is preferable, admittedly, but it can also be, like me or my YouTube channel or whatever. People that would keep on asking, my dad is doing very well, thank you very much. He's decided to stop his chemo, though. He did not like chemo at all. He was fine for the first few days of his chemo, but then he couldn't eat properly. He had constant indigestion. He was in a lot of pain, and he just slept for 2 days straight. And it was like, this is hell, sort of thing. So he decided to stop. Hopefully, he won't have a recurrence of his cancer. That's, but it has moved on to his lymph nodes. But it could just permanently stay there, or clear itself up. Quite genuinely, I know people are like, what? The cancer doesn't clear itself up. Well, it does in some cases, and he's got a variant of cancer that his immune system can actually fight when it's in his lymph nodes. Or at least that's the way the surgeon and the oncologist described it to us. So, but thank you very much for all the kind messages. It's lovely and nice and very caring, and I appreciate it. 3.5 is not live currently. It is PTU to everyone though, which is Oh, where are we? We are above ArcCorp. Let's go over to here for a second. Bam. And you can see the game. Let's make my face a thing as well. Let's bam. There we go. Production values. Oh, my ship's going weird. Stop going weird, ship. One day I'll have someone to do this for me, to switch my cameras and stuff, and that is what Zin is largely going to be for. I say that she's going to be helping me make content and pretty much doing the same exact stuff that I do. That's ArcCorp, that's not Area 18. I've forgotten where Area 18 is. There's in the horizon. That's OM1. That's Area 4. That's Area 6. That's Lyria. That's Area 18. That's where we want to go. You've got to get a little bit closer when you come out of quantum travel at the moment, which is annoying. Hope the game's not too loud. Shouldn't be. But calibrate better. You little heat-sucking bastard. Where are you? Where are you? Where's my quantum drive? Give it some more power. Come on. Calibrate. I demand you calibrate. What do you... Yeah, perfect. Still planned. Clearly not an issue. Get that way. Bam.
Quantum drive is now on.
Right. Get that out of the way. Thanks for the regular updates. Thank you very much. How big a chance is that 3.5 comes to the PU today or tomorrow? It's consider, or you should be considering all of the builds for the last 2 weeks, at least what I've said, as potential release candidates. They're just trying to get the updates in, well, now they're just trying to iron the bugs out. There was some additions they were putting in the PTU patches up until very recently, but now it's just bug hunting and ironing out bits, getting the major blockers out, and as soon as they do, that goes to a live build, and that could be today. It could be any time in the next several weeks, but it's almost ready. Like, it's very, very close. It could be tomorrow. Hello. You read things with my voice. I'm very sorry for your loss. It's so foggy. Why is it? I can't see. That's area 18. It's fine. Fine. We'll just travel-ish in that direction while reading some of the stuff. Let's open that up so I can actually see what's going on that screen. No crackles. Cool. That's good. I'll bring my microphone slightly close to my face, even if you can see it in the shot. I don't care. There should be an odd stray meteorite in quantum. I do not agree. What do we got? There is some stuff I want to talk about specifically. What brand of shampoo? I don't have a shampoo because I'm bald. I mean,
8-month club represent.
Oh, Mantis, thank you very much. Love your face, Mantis. One of my most bountiful of donators and supporters. Thank you very much, Mantis. I love your face. Mwah. I don't really use shampoo because, I'm bald, you monster. However, my back and the rest of my body is pretty hairy. So I just use like Lynx shower gel. There you are. That's why I have such a natural shine to my head. I am using Elgato green screen. I want it out of shot. Decided. Love. Hi, Board. You said you want the report video. The 300 series is complete. Well, the 300i is complete. The roadmap says the 315p, 25A, and 350R are still not finished. No, I said the 300i is complete. The rest of the 300 series are coming in a 3.5.x patch. So not 3.6 before that. They said that's where they want them to lie. I mean, they could get pushed back to 3.6, admittedly, because we don't have crystal balls. And I suspect that if you did have a crystal ball, you could probably change the future, so we wouldn't even know then. Have you seen Love, Death and Robots on Netflix? Yeah, I loved a load of them. I thought the ones that had a bit sort of like contrived, obvious storylines were still very pretty, still looked very good. I'd love to see more smaller, little Love, Death and Robots type episodic content on Netflix, and hopefully another season of that. I thought it was absolutely great. There was a few cool ones as well, but I liked pretty much all of them, I think. What are your... I mean, the Dracula one was a bit sort of like... What are your personal thoughts on the death system? Do you think it's fun? Well, it's not fun at the moment, because, you just die and respawn, and you're like, ugh. It's just... The Death of a Spaceman mechanics, though, on paper, with soft deaths, and eventually your toon could just die, I think that's a reasonably good idea. It makes you play differently. It makes mortality important. Depends on how they balance it. What do you actually lose when you die? Is it just you have to create a new character, or is it some reputation, some money? Are you in a different location? That sort of stuff. Which do you have to rejoin all your orgs and guilds, things like that? Is it just sort of like, oh my god, I've lost my credit cards? Is that the sort of feeling? I've lost my wallet and my credit cards. What the fuck? Got to change all my passwords? Or is it sort of like more of a risk reward, interesting mechanic that's not sort of like, well, I'm done. You don't want people to rage quit when they die from that, or you don't want most people to rage quit when they die from that and they actually have to make a new character. But there'll probably be ways that you can ensure the life of your dude with like expensive medical insurance, sort of like similar to what Eve does with sort of like insuring your clones at the top rating for skill points and things like that. Like if you pay a load of money, yeah, you pretty much just don't die. You can, well, you have pay a fuck ton of money, you can rejuvenate all your soft lives, stuff like that. I suspect there'll be lots of different balance things. They need to drive the economy in the game as much as balance stuff out for risk, reward, and mortality. So I like the idea on paper. I'm okay with that. I want to see people that are really sort of like war-torn and battered. But you would see people just zerging other people if they knew they could, you know, give them massive loss for very little loss. You make a load of starter accounts. Big orgs could do this, or people with loads of money make a load of starter accounts and just ram that person. Oh no, well, that's a $45 account. Fuck it. I've cost someone the same amount as, you know, £8,000 in game or dollars in game for, you know, $130. And some orgs could wage war like that. So it needs to be balanced so it's not sort of like madness. We don't know enough about the implementation of it yet. Is the problem? Do you think it's probable next year after Squadron is launched they may put priority to Odin or Stanton corridor to allow both games to use each other's assets? Well, both games do sort of use each other's assets. If you're talking about the actual gameplay area, literally Odin, I would expect it would need a bit more time to get into the persistent universe, but I would expect to see like Magnus or Pyro systems next year. Obviously they want to get the last of the astral bodies in for Q1 of 2020 for the Stanton system, and their tech is plodding along pretty nicely, and they've got a load of the assets they needed for procedural generation, for building out this massive universe, especially when they finish off the rest of those external large space stations and stuff that they've got planned for this year. So yeah, I'm expecting to see assets shared and that sort of stuff, but I'm not sure if we'll see the Odin system until a little bit further on, because it will be part of the Odin system made for Squadron 42, probably not the full system, and there's probably lots of better systems they can do. Although we might see Odin, and it's not 100% certain that Squadron 42 will be released next year. However, it's planned to be in beta by Q2 next year. I would expect it to be released by Christmas time. Oh, thank you very much for the kind messages. Once 3.5 goes live, will Star Citizen be a scam? It's sort of like paradoxically never and always a scam to some people, isn't it? It's both a scam, poorly managed, sort of like this weird project which it gets attacked on all angles by the same people. Not always the same people, but mostly the same people. Saying it's a scam, but also they've wasted all the money and all this. It's like, well, how can it be a scam, but they're also trying to make the game? How can it just sort of like contradicts each other? If you're going to go for one avenue of attack, maybe learn your avenue of attack, understand it, make sure you genuinely believe it, and then attack it, rather than just sort of like hate-mongering, piling on. But you see that a lot of the Star Citizen hate has died down significantly, because Star Citizen is genuinely starting to deliver. It published its financials, which I still think was madness, and it's incredibly transparent. However, the problem I currently have with the CIG is that we still don't have 3.5 live. I'm not too bothered about that because I've been enjoying it on the PTU. But it's this community content for me is that I want more, and we've been given less, and I pay subscription money. Actually, yeah. So that's very much my opinion. I want I want more community content. I want more videos, lots of them. I'd like a video every day from CIG if it was possible. And I don't mind if some of that is just entirely fluff, as long as there's some way I can ask questions and stuff. The reason I do these kind of Q&As and chatty chats is because really CIG... Where am I? What? Did I fly into the atmosphere? Yeah, I must have. Okay. Go towards the spaceport now. There we go. That's fine. Will there ever be a landing pad tall enough for the 890 jump? Tall enough? What do you mean? I mean, there's open air ones. There's ones on Port Olisar. They're infinitely tall. What do you mean? The 890 jump should be able to land on extra large landing pads, as far as I understand it. I believe the ship is around 195 meters long, which I'm assuming means that they can be spawned on those pads. When do I think the Drake Corsair will be flyable? Well, it's a ship that doesn't actually need much in the way of anything new tech-wise. It's just, and the Drake pipeline's pretty refined. You could have it as early as middle of next year, more likely late next year. Not a huge ship.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Hi, Bored. Got you this time.
Thank you very much, Osri, for the resubscribe. Very much appreciated. I will be putting all of the subscriber money for the rest of this month, and any donations and super chats and that sort of stuff into going to Citizencon, travel for that, drinks for that, because I like socializing, and I've got a proper camera which I'll be taking and trying to get some interviews or chat to some people there if I'm able to. I don't want to be too invasive, and I don't want to ruin people's fun, but I would like to talk to some of the devs. I'll bring the Big Book of Secrets. I was hoping to see you at TwitchCon in Berlin. Okay, I'm not a massive fan of travelling. I'm good at travelling in the UK, and I probably will travel to Europe. Well, I will travel to Europe in some situations. But I don't see the reason to go to TwitchCons and things like that. If someone says, come to TwitchCon because it's good for networking, or for some reason there's a big meetup or something, then I'm much more likely to go. But TwitchCons in general, I haven't seen much of a huge reason to go. But I will keep it in mind in the future. Do you think the heat system is a bit too hot at the moment? Or good as is? I mean, it's significantly better than it was. Come on, ship. Don't pull me up, right? I mean, it's a lot better than it was. I think it needs a little bit more refinement, but its magnitude's better than it was. Everything's not constantly overheating. You do want that sort of like balance between heat and thruster use and system use, and then the choosing of loadouts that all come together, and that's what it's moving towards. I think with physicalized components and a little bit more balance, that heat system will be great. How much do you think the servers will be a bottleneck for large amounts of new content going forward? Will there be a massive bottleneck if they don't get server optimizations, server-side object container streaming, server meshing? I mean, everything's a bottleneck when you look at it like that. They need to plod forward with everything, with content, with tech, with mission givers, with new mission ideas. But the server-side stuff is a huge bottleneck for adding new planets and gameplay area now. Yeah, they need server-side object container streaming is the most pressing one, and then full persistence, server optimizations, and finally server meshing. We're not too far away from that, as far as I understand it now. Server-side object container streaming and potentially full persistence could come this year, you see. So, which would or should mean larger server caps. For the subscribership of the month, do they also have a CCU for it, or is it just a standalone ship for purchase? What is the ship of the month this month? Blip, 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 blip. So you can, subscribers can buy up until the 15th of April the Drake Buccaneer. I'm not sure. It's also the CCU available as well. Let's have a look. Choose a ship to upgrade to. Can I upgrade to a Buccaneer? It does not look like it. No, not look like it's the CCU as well. Oh, that could be. Available on my account. Good bug. Yeah, there was some cool stuff. I really liked the newsletters Vandal model that they showed off. That was pretty slick, wasn't it? That's absolutely terrifying. You thought I was going to forget about you, didn't you? Right. Let us quest a landing. And then really badly park my Cutlass Black.
Please proceed to sign landing bay.
Over here. We're not constantly overheating anymore, which is lovely. Down my landing gear. I'm going to rotate randomly because I don't know where my hands are on the keyboard. I was trying to land the Constellation Phoenix in here. This sort of get perfectly stuck. Perfect. Bam. Press Y to get out of my chair now because they like to just keep on changing the keys around. Why not just change it to every letter of the alphabet at one point or another? It's perfect. Just change the buttons around. You know. Change it from R to you know, whatever. Change it from H to Y because it's closer to your index finger if you've got a really long index finger, right? That's the thing that one of the big things that annoys me is buttons changes in the game. Because why? Why? Why change the get out of the seat button? H to U to Y. Do you think they should consider using landing pads on buildings as a way to lower the ships into internal parking area? Carrot style. Oh, yeah, I mean, I suspect there will be hangars that retract. You land on the landing pads, it retracts, covers up your ship, and then the hangar goes back up. In fact, I suspect that's how ships will be stored in public hangars eventually, because you've got popular landing destinations. You don't need to... Oh, did I kill myself? What is going on? It's all part of the show, guys. It's all part of the show.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
They appear to have glitched through the universe. Huh. Star Citizen, folks. Star Citizen. Oh. I can't even bring up the menu. Huh. An interesting issue. Who fucking knows? Right. Let's close that for a second. Get back into chat now that we've teleported out of the game. At least we'll actually be there when we spawn, which will be useful. How's performance in ArcCorp compared to the old Lawville? Great in the latest PTU stuff. So a couple of patches ago in the PTU, they did some performance optimizations, which sort of caused some server instability and some odd things to happen to the AI, but the performance was massively up. Now they've got the performance and the stability there, and the AI are getting better, but they're still pretty lobotomized, as I refer to it as. Like they do jitter, but not as bad as they did. They go to they actually will fight you for a while, and then occasionally they'll go to a sort of like where they originally spawned from, or to a location just sort of like go AFK. But they are much more interactive and engagey than they previously were. They just need to sort that out for the live build. Has there been any discussion about black holes and their in-game effects? Not much in their in-game effects, but we know that some of the systems, or at least a system, has a black hole in it. You can see it on the star map. If you buy a package and lose your SIP after 3 months, is it gone? If you did not have insurance on it after the game is live, that is the thinking. But there might be sort of like statutory insurance levels that you can get it back if you pay enough in-game currency and that sort of stuff. You'll have to insure your ship in-game though, so they have to insure your ship. They might do it so that it's sort of like you can get your ship back even if you have lost it after a huge length of time or something. Maybe we're not 100% sure how insurance is going to work, but be affordable insurance, especially for the smaller ships. Hey, Bored, thanks for your continued updates and coverage of Star Citizen. Well, thanks for watching. That's very much appreciated. When does the Battle Pass come out? Well, they need to... Do you think we'll see a Battle Pass before the game comes out? DLC and a Battle Pass before the game comes out. I suppose people could argue that the concept ships are even worse than Battle Passes and worse than DLC because the game isn't out and they're still selling them. However, when you look at it more realistically, it's a crowdfunded game. This is the way they make money. This is the way they avoid having a publisher. And Star Citizen in its form and the project, which I genuinely think is fantastical and amazing on all sorts of levels, not just it being positively awesome all the time. There are some definite bad points of the way they're doing it, but there's some great points as well, and hopefully we're getting an amazing couple of games out of it, or if not more, I suppose, because we've got Squadron 42 episodes 2 and 3 as well as Star Citizen, as well as episode 1. What's up, gamer? Will we be able to gain access to all the stars in the galaxy by the completion of Star Citizen? By the completion of Star Citizen, you will have potentially up to 120 stars, probably they've got planned on paper. I think they sort of like say 100, but I believe I've talked to some of the lore guys, I think it's 120 they've sort of like roughly got planned out at the moment. They're not real stars either, like other than Sol, which is going to be maybe based on reality in the future, but the rest of the star systems and stuff are not real. Fantastic. We are in our bed, which is great. Let's get out of there. But Star Citizen's planned to be sort of like constantly updated for the next 10 to 15 years. At the moment, they're indefinitely releasing a major update every 3 months. What's a release for Star Citizen? We don't really know at the moment. It's not really defined as a traditional release off the shelf, and it's an MMO, so they're going to keep on expanding it out. It's never going to be finished to that extent, in the same way that Warframe's never going to be finished. You know what I mean? Do I like the new character customizer scheme? I don't think I think this might be the generic dude. The most generic dude I could make. Thought it was a beautiful woman, but I'm not. Oh, I can't put my main camera on as well as my... yeah, I've got another camera. But it's down the back. Let's see some technical expertise. Ugh. I've got 2 webcams now. Like 8, but yep, is that still okay? let's have a look outside of the game. You're seeing. That's better. So let us try and get avoid. My camera is not in the best place for this. Bam. Options. Home settings. My glasses. Not reading that much anyway, so don't desperately need them. VoIP enabled on. Look in the center of the screen. Squint your eyes slightly. For me anyway. Then VoIP should work reasonably well. Hello! And then we can look at my resting face, apparently. So that's I really like VoIP. I mean, that was, oh no, look at my eyes. This is when you don't have your camera centered. I'm not sure if it's on 50 hertz or 60 hertz. Look at my squinty eyes. Needed to squint them more. Otherwise now I have to open them really wide to look like a normal human. But VoIP's working really well, even though this might not be a great show of it. Fucking hell. Oh well. This poor face. Poor face. We'll look through some more questions before we venture out onto the world. Do we know how much smarter AIs will be in 3.6? They're going to keep on updating the AI. We should have good AI by the end of this year, because they're putting the final touches to the Squadron 42 AI. And throughout the year, we are getting updates to the Persistent Universe's AI, which is obviously massively comparable to each other. So in 3.5, we're getting collision avoidance, we're getting the new flight model, getting gunship behavior, and better combat behavior improvements to that. But mainly it's just dialing in the AI in 3.5 branch for the new flight model. And then in 3.6, we're getting pathfinding, which is going to be the AI getting much better at navigating spaces and areas. When it comes to ship flight and stuff, that will be a significant improvement. And we should see a lot more improvements to the on-the-ground FPS AI, with them being able to use cover. Is the idea. Let me show you what I'm seeing. The roadmap as we know it at the moment. Obviously, lots of improvements to the general NPCs walking around. And then we're getting some the AI being able to use different loadouts more effectively. Should be weapon and armor types, I believe. The gunships, so larger ships that are using turrets, should be more able to fight off smaller ships without getting entirely wrecked. In 3.7, 3.8, we're seeing better combat behaviors for on-the-ground NPCs, and we are seeing ace-level fighter behavior. So that will be fighters that are much more able to hold their own, much more smarter, much more accurate, able to use decoupling and stuff like that much more effectively. Hopefully, most of these ships are less likely to ram you, unless that's part of their tactics. Like Vandal, Glaives, and Blades and stuff, they might want to ram you. A bloody annoying tactic personally, but ramming's less likely to blow you up, especially when we have physicalized components in the future. And then in 3.9, which is the Q1 2020 release, they will be polishing flight AI and polishing the combat AI stuff as well for FPS stuff. So that's the idea. Then AI, for the most part, will be in a good state. That's the idea. Which is pretty big. Pretty big. Do you think they should consider... talked about that. Thank you for all the love. Appreciate it. Yes, the Kingship's pretty fucking big, isn't it? Compared to space stations, even. But the Kingship that we're getting in the Squadron 42... So, okay, this as well. So the Squadron 42 stuff. You are getting a load of big ships completed for Squadron 42 this year. So, getting the military version of the Idris by Q3 and the Aegis Javelin by Q3 for Squadron 42. Now, these will be brought into the Persistent Universe when they can be supported by the network code and the various other bits that they need to get to support them. and then they are appropriate for the persistent universe. So they do need a bit more work. But we are getting huge amounts of the massive capital ships done by Q4 2019 with like the Hunter and the Bengal and load of the Vandal ships, the Driller and stuff like that. Kingship. Oh, and these are massive ships. Like, is it 3 kilometers long? The Kingship. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big ship. Might be longer than that. Citation needed. I don't know the sizes of the ship. I know they're big. They're big from space and stuff like that. But Habs now, let's actually bring you back to the Hab screen. The Habs now are supposed to be semi-persistent. So me keeping things in here and placing stuff and moving stuff around should be saved and not cleared up. I'm not sure if it saves it between sessions. Because it would have to know that my Hab is here, wouldn't it? Maybe it does now. Didn't used to. So I'm in I'm in room 2 of Florian. Not going to actually go. Oh, we're quite high up. I'd say we're on floor 4. That's anything to go by. Here on the button. Or on floor 5. Okay, so it does appear that maybe this has some relevance. We actually are technically on floor 5. Let's move some stuff around in our room 2 of floor 5. And then relog and see if anything has actually saved that. I know that this stuff shouldn't get cleaned up in at least the same session anymore. So I could play for like 5 hours and come back and all this stuff is here. But if I now... lie down. Log out. I want to go. I want to log out. Log out function here. Log out. Let's see. Do you think at some point they will rework the front of the 600i? Well, once they finish the 890 jump, they are giving the 600i a at least a light rework is the plan. How deep do you think they will go to healthcare features on their first shot at it in 3.7? Not massively. So in 3.7, we're going to be able to use medipens on other people, NPCs, players. Eventually, they want those medipens to sort of like just give you a little temporary get up and go boost more than anything else. Oh. Get up. For a teddy bear on the table. Yes, there is. So it appears, at least in the short term, it saves what room and hangar at what room I'm in. But now I'm in room 4. It saves my room. We are in a different place as well, so the windows... Okay. Where are we on? Room 6? 4-6? Look higher up, I think. Or 7. So it does appear to persistently save my Hab now. So you can collect things in your room. Or 4, okay. Actually lower. So we're just in a different place. Okay, and that's the train going by. That's going to be cool when we actually have fully physicalized addresses that don't move around. So we spawn in, it spawns our room in. But it just puts it wherever the fuck it wants. That is pretty cool. And eventually we'll be able to have rent our own habs and have physicalized addresses that will be permanent as long as you keep up the rent or the purchase of them. Cool. Myth busted. Bam. But yeah, the basic of the Medipan features is just going to be super basic in 3.7. It's going to be getting other people up with them. Oh, I didn't know you could remove the session. Remove the code stamp at the bottom of your screen. Oh, you're a legend. I didn't actually know that. Put that in my fucking little lock. 1 second. Someone's at the door. I will be 5 seconds. Joe, you're in charge. 2 seconds. Apologise for that. Something's I've like quite badly pulled a muscle, or I've got RSI or rheumatism or something in my thumb, which makes it quite hard to actually type on the keyboard. What is really fucking hard though is picking up anything or using door handles. And I use my left hand, it seems, for opening doors pretty much exclusively. So every time I do it, I go, ah! So, yeah. Full hell chat. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Do all items persist in the hab? That's a good question. Switch back to this. So can I bring cargo from my ship and leave it in my hangar? Can I bring loads of drugs from the Twitch Pacheco mission? Can I have loads of maize in here? Like, can I just go, well, I'm not going to complete the Twitch Pacheco mission. I'm going to grab the maize. I'm going to bring it back to my hab. And then, if I have that maize, can I then use it to complete the Twitch Pacheco mission? Or do I need the specific itemed maize that it creates for that specific mission at that time? So this is one of the reasons that there was a load of performance issues in the original first few PTU patches, because of the amount of entities that were in it. All of these are interactable entities. That is madness. This isn't anymore, but like loads of things used to be. And there was loads more items than this. I've slowly accumulated more and more and more in my like hab. And I will tidy it up at some points because it's a little messy. Oh God, you can store so much cool stuff. Okay. I've started doing putting plants around my room IRL as well now. I've got loads of basil growing to the right of me, and because I make my own pesto. That's not a euphemism for anything. That could be, but it's not. Do that. Good. We're good. Yeah, we're good. But yeah, I'm surprised that the habs are semi-persistent. Well, the habs are persistent. They're your hab now. In different layouts, I'm sure though. Maybe I haven't. Maybe it's... No, it's because I'm getting confused with the Lawvilles. But that's cool. So you can customize your hab with placeable objects. We're not 100% sure if it's every placeable object. I mean, can I... No, I can't... Weapons down there because I can't draw it. My personal inner thought either. But there's loads of cupboards and stuff you can fill up. But yeah, I'll look into that this week. I'll do a little video on it, a little videoette. You watching Game of Thrones tonight? If not, what's wrong with you? So it's going to be tomorrow morning for me by the time Game of Thrones is on because I'm in the UK. I'm super excited for it. It's quite a short season this time, isn't it? Because it's the last season of it. It's going to, and the last 2 episodes are going to be like mini films, as I understand it. What do you know about the cave systems? I know the cave systems are built in the same way that the corridors for gas clouds and procedural stations are built. They build them in modular pieces, and then they have all these pieces fit together. They generate thousands of them, and then choose them where to place them on planets at the moment and moons. That's the idea for the cave system. And then they're going to have lots of different entrance types and that sort of stuff. But the idea is that it will generate a sort of like path that you can travel and traverse through them in various different ways as well. And they might use them for mission locations. But really think of the caves just as like you would a bunker. It's going to be procedurally generated, procedurally assisted anyway. And then artists will finish bits off, set dress it, maybe have areas that spawn in differently, different enemies spawn in there or whatever. Some people might be able to make them their bases in the future, or they might just be used for mission locations. Yeah, well, I'll have to store a load of cargo crates in the hab just to see what the extent of that is. Like, can you have thousands of entities in your hab? That'd be a bit mad, I suppose. You've just got an email that your challenge coin keyring has been shipped. That's cool. I've got some of the Citizencon ones from last year that some people sent me. At the moment, I think the Cutlass Black is the best ship to use in game currently, because it allows you to do pretty much everything other than mining in game, cargo missions, combat missions, delivery missions, whatever. And it has the room for a vehicle on it, has doesn't take too long to travel anywhere, and you can get in and out of the atmosphere easily. Don't know if you've done a tutorial on getting to Jumpdown. Yeah, there's a Jumpdown tutorial on my channel. I'll update the tutorial series for all of the new drug labs, of which there are quite a few now, on Yella and Illyria. assuming that they actually have the ability to still buy ETAM Slam, Ultratoxin, Widow, or another one, or another Droog. Can't remember the name of. Neon. So there's going to be potentially a load of other trade routes that aren't just Jump Town for people that want to do that now in 3.5. It will be dependent on whether you can actually make money buying and selling these drugs rather than just they exist in other places. But the trade routes will change anyway, so I'll do some videos on that. Yeah, so my hab changed location when I logged out and logged back in. So it moved my room from room 2 on floor 4 to room 5 or 6, whatever it was, on floor 5. So it moves the room around. It keeps the room the same. Yeah, I wouldn't take the PTU period of March 2nd to May 5th as any sort of like indication of how long the PTU is going to go for. They will release live once it is ready. Like I know that's a very vague thing to say, and sort of like defending and defeatist, but it's realistic. It's they need to get rid of the rest of the bugs for it. It needs to be a reasonably polished build. Is it a problem if I choose my ships on style, not functionality? It might be, if you think they've got more functionality than they actually do. I mean, in-game, I want to collect ships and also have functional ships. It probably is like two separate things. So, the cheapest ship that's all-round good is the Avenger Titan, in my opinion. Fantastic ship, like $50. Allows you to do a little bit of everything in the game. But it's a single-seater fighter. The Cutlass Black is a step beyond that. That allows you to do a single-seater ship, also allows you to do crew of up to 3, potentially 4, and allows you to do a lot larger missions, and is good for making money. And it also has room for a vehicle in it. Cloud, Planetary, VFX, and or Nebula Tech. Do you mind talking about it? Yeah, so the gas cloud tech that they've been working on for a while, there's lots of different tech, okay? There's lots of different tech that's going on. So there's the gas cloud tech that they've been working on for a while. That's for the Odin system originally, anyway, which is for Nebula, which is for large gas clouds in space, which is for corridors of gas clouds, that sort of stuff. They've been ploughing through with that. That's pretty close to completion, as far as I'm aware. And allows for those specific things. There's also layered fog, which they're starting to use and will be built into the game pretty soon, which we'll see on planets and that sort of stuff. Some of the layered fog tech might be used to help with Crusader, for example. It's gas cloud, yes, it's a gas giant, but they need layered sort of like gas clouds for that sort of thing. There's also procedural weather and clouds for weather that will be, you know, rain clouds, which are different from both of those, as far as I'm aware, and different effects for. There's also smoke effects that they use in-game VFX already, which are different from all of those. They are literally just different types of VFX. They're not layered. They don't diffuse light, although they are building light diffusion into some of those effects now. But they're all different things. They just look like clouds. And some of them might be tangentially related and help each other a little bit, but they are all need to be seen as their own separate beasts. Gas cloud tech is different from the tech they need to finish off the gas giants, which is different from tech they need to do clouds with, which is different from fog tech, although the layered fog tech sounds like it could be what they are using for Crusader, the gas giants. But what is the first salvage iteration planned? We don't 100% know. I suppose that's true of anything. It's planned for 3.8, which is Q4 of this year. So by the end of December, it is allowing you to collect materials from ships. The Reclaimer should have it, because it will probably be the only ship we have in the game at that point that is a salvage ship. And it will be stripping materials from hulls. So it will probably be very similar to mining, except you are mining a ship's hull. We don't know if it will be able to be done to every disabled ship, or every ship that's not got someone in it, or maybe you can do it even if someone's in it, or if it's just going to be particular salvage sites in its first implementation. I have to wait and see. I believe it also accommodates players that are on foot as well, so that might be removing of components, because I believe we will have physicalized components by then, potentially, if all goes well. I think they want to get it in by then. That might have us removing bits, or they want to have salvage charges and things like that, so you can blow bits off ships eventually. Isn't ship armor and personal armor working like RPG with 0 to 100% damage? Should stasis include more stat buffing items and be a bit more RPG light? So the idea is they want a physicalized damage system eventually. At the moment, it's damage mitigation. So it's heavy armor removes 40% of the damage if you get hit in that area. So it's going to be a bit more physicalized in the future. So if you've got a joint of your armor that's exposed, you'll take damage to that area is the idea. And it will, I'm not sure if it will mitigate damage or if it will literally be like a plate of armor that can be damaged in that area and destroyed in that area. Part of it to be destroyed, and you have to get hit there like twice. The armor busts, and then you get hit there again, and it actually hurts you. Or if there's going to be concussion damage and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think CIG are 100% sure. It might be the simplest option, which is what we have at the moment, which is damage mitigation. We'll have to wait and see. Ship armor is going to be a physical item that you put on your ship, and components are going to be what, because it's going to be time to disable rather than time to destroy. Ships aren't going to have health pools in the future. It's going to be you targeting individual systems, or the shots actually damaging either systems or the links between those systems that are going to cause ships to be disabled. And ships are less likely just to die, explode, or whatever like that. They'll be disabled, they can be repaired, things like that. What are your views on piracy? I think piracy is an integral part of the game. I'm not massively interested in piracy myself. Orc has developed a method to actually acquire cargo boxes from stolen ships. They've made it over 100,000 doing this. That's pretty fucking cool. So yeah, piracy is an important part of the game. As soon as we have more and more reasons to be outlaws and pirates, and for those things to actually give bonuses, and for pirates to make money properly, like being able to steal ships properly, being able to make money properly as a pirate or an outlaw, then I think that will be a lot better. Risk and reward comes hand in hand with that as well. At the moment, there's not that many reasons beyond just messing about to be a pirate. There needs to be ways of making money as a pirate, and then a balance of risk and reward and security forces and bounty hunting and stuff like that. Then it all comes together to give a huge amount of gameplay to everyone else. That means that miners and people cargo hauling need to get escorts. That means pirates will be able to intercept those escorts and intercept those cargo haulers and miners and make money from them. And there needs to be a way of money changing hands as well. So you can extort people for money by saying, well, we won't kill you, but pay me protection money. Stuff like that. Well, I suppose you can with sort of with the service beacons at the moment, but not in the same sort of way I'm thinking. Thinking of changing my Polaris to apply back Endeavour Master Set. Polaris is money drain, very limited use compared to the Endeavour Master Set. What do you think? Potentially, Polaris is sort of like it's a torpedo corvette, but it does have a hangar on it. It's going to be a multi-role ship. Capital ships in general are going to be typically a bit more of a money sink if you're not using them particularly effectively or in planned ways. I think you'll probably get more use out of the Endeavour Master Set, but the Endeavour is likely to be one of the last ships they make, in my opinion, because science is quite a complex mechanic, and that ship is incredibly modular. Optics, cloaking devices, nope. No cloaking technology like that. Stealth is going to be about system management. keeping your IR signal, EM signature, and general cross-section hidden. You'll be able to hide behind objects and stuff like that as well. That will dampen sensors. People putting out sensor pulses, that will increase their EM signatures probably hugely. Might be able to get ways of dampening signals further. Definitely loadouts will do that. Definitely armor and stuff like that will do that. There might be some forms of e-warfare that do that, but no cloaking tech that makes you invisible, like optic camouflage. Aren't the Corsairs turrets pretty useless? Well, at the moment they are. The ship's not been built. There might be incredibly good uses for the Corsairs turrets in the future, but we'll have to wait and see. They might make them even slightly more articulated in the future. Ship hasn't been built yet. Reclaiming colours, the snub for it, isn't it? I don't know what's happening with that. Will hoarders break the game when persistence is put in? As long as we have server-side object container streaming, shouldn't be much of an issue, because you just turn off the hab when they're not in it. Cull it out the server. Yes, I've tried Game Glass. Seems alright. I'll do a video on it when 3.5's live. I've got a lot of hope and potential for Game Glass, because it's going to be a fully supported long-term project. So, is there going to be any character progression, skills, and professions? There's going to be character progression. There's not going to be experience. There's not going to be skills that are skill pointed. It's going to be you learning those skills. You will be able to earn money, earn ships, and reputation with people and things, and learn where things are. You'll be getting good at the game by getting good at the game. It's not going to be, I put skills in charisma, nothing like that. Everyone is the same max level toon when they come out. They can all operate doors and all ships. Is working out or getting fat like in San Andreas planned? Well, for me personally, yes, and I'm very fat. They've talked about different body types. They said it's something they want in the future. Beyond that, we don't know. Will there be cemeteries that act like old school scoreboards and arcade games for permadead user characters? I mean, there would almost certainly be scoreboards online. People make them, people will API grab stuff. All the stuff that you see for like Eve with the kill boards and things almost certainly will be in Star Citizen eventually. I think you might see like walls of service and things with orgs. It depends on what they allow us to use the render to texture tech for, how much customization there'll be in game. Can we do silly things like that? We'll probably see cemeteries in game. I'm not sure if you'll have player characters in cemeteries though. Hey Bored, love your face. You spoke briefly. Hey Bored, love your face. All go into buildings. I would like to see skyscrapers and stations turned into HQs. What would you like for org scale HQs? Yeah, I'd like the potential for players to be able to buy larger org scale buildings. Like ArcCorp, probably more real estate than the whole game could fill if everyone bought a building on the planet. So they can have huge scale HQs for players and orgs to own. Yes, up to skyscraper sized. Yeah, there's loads of cool stuff they could do. I mean, they need a load of money sinks in the game. They need a load of customization. They need a load of modules. They need a load of all this stuff coming together to promote the economy and to promote people to play the game. Della Mars, love your face. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Randy. Thank you very much for the super chat as well. Here's some ammo catch. Appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Della Mars, thank you so much for the bits. Listen quietly. You can be noisy. You can do what you want, dude. Just chatting. Just having a bit of a chat. In a bit, I'm going to get a cup of tea. I'm going to end the stream just a bit later. And then play some Division 2 probably. I've been enjoying Division 2 over the last couple of days. I just wanted to get involved with that. I loved Division. I loved the survival. They made this like survival mode where you had to keep warm from the cold. You just sort of like go in an area, you need to put clothes on, craft clothing, find weapons, and then kill some big bad guys, and then get out of the zone. And there were other players around as well, and you could play the PvE mode, which means the players couldn't kill each other, or you play the PvP mode, and everyone could fight, and you'd kill someone, you could take all their loot, and then the idea is that you get some really powerful loot, like from the Dark Zone loot, but it was even better, I believe, and then take it up in the helicopter and leave, and you get loads of experience points and shit like that as well. I really enjoyed that mode. I really enjoyed it. It was like Battle Royale survival, where you didn't need to beat anyone else if you didn't want to. You could just escape. You could do just the PvE stuff. You could do the PvP and PvE stuff, or just PvP stuff, potentially, and then you'd escape, and then that was it. You didn't have to beat anyone. You just had to get all these items and escape. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I quite enjoyed that. It was a Battle Royale survival. Yeah, male and female characters have to be perfectly equal in all regards in the game for model purposes and stuff like that. You can argue all day long about the temperaments of men and women being different and them having different skills, which is scientifically a fact when you look at, you know, the way science works and it being based on data. But obviously in a game, you need to have everything balanced. Otherwise, everyone will be women if their hitboxes are smaller, or everyone will be men if their hitboxes well, they've got more strength or something. You know what I mean? I think that the differences in Star Citizen will be so slight, however, that it will be relatively relevant. Is there still bacon in the future? I believe so. Can the Hull C carry small ships? I don't know. It might be able to carry cargo containers a lot, because they want cargo B2 for the Hull C as well, which means that instead of having lots of little tiny entities for cargo containers, they have the huge boxes as well, lots of different size boxes for lots of different things. So yeah, there could be cargo containers that could carry small ships. I think they should insert an age system. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, the game survives even 20 years, you wouldn't notice the age that much. Well, you could, but you know, it'd be fine. But your characters will age in the fact that they'll get injured and they'll start to accrue damage like that. Will you be able to get drunk in the PTU and stumble around everywhere? Yes. Alcohol's sort of in the game at the moment, where you can drink from, I won't mind that again, you can drink from your little alcohol cabinet if you've got the flair. What are the complications if a child wants to join an org or stream the game? I don't really know. Obviously, they're not going to have children in game as characters because they don't want people to be able to shoot them, which is a good thing for games. When you're trying to appeal to larger audiences in different countries, you want to avoid obviously children and the more sordid and seedy stuff as much as you can, because that just means that the game will sell in more countries more easily. There could be controversy with any game if people of the incorrect age stream it or whatever. I don't know. Orgs will have to. Orgs might not vet members. I've got loads of people in my BoredGamer org. I don't know what fucking age they are. Bored, why are you so fat? Because I like eating too much, and I don't like exercising that much. Will there be melee combat? Yes, and there will be melee weapons as well. Your performance guide you did some time ago still relevant in 3.5. A lot of them still are. I have updated my performance guides on the website, though. So if you go to if you go to boardgamer.co.uk and then guides, there's a load of guides there. Let me show you. Let me show you, my little tiddly peeps. Guides. Got the user.cfg guide, which I will add that extra command that someone taught me today too. Got quick start guides with all the controls and that sort of stuff for Star Citizen and a how-to. I've got a Windows 10 tweaking guide, which has been updated reasonably recently. Like tells you how to get rid of all the bloat and bullshit from Windows 10 and get it running as best it can for Star Citizen. I've got a specific Star Citizen performance guide, which links you to a load of other stuff. It tells you what the newest drivers are. I need to update that because there are some newer ones. All that goes through, goes through everything, but they have been updated on the website. Your thoughts on the jump system to new systems? How do you think it will work? I think it'll be pretty simple. I think it'll be like a very short quantum jump. Be a really cool quantum jump effect. That's all I think. I mean, mapping new ones might be different, but I suspect it will be simpler rather than more complicated. Came in late, so sorry if this has been answered. When do you expect 3.5 to release? Is it really going to improve the AI? That is what it looks like they are trying to do before 3.5 goes live. They're trying to improve the AI to actually work properly in 3.5. That's the main blocker, as far as I'm aware, as well. It could be released anytime. It could even be released today. It's that as soon as they get rid of those final blockers, as soon as they get AI working, it's likely to be released. Which patch is going to have new hair shading improvements? I believe there's going to be some improvements to 3.5 Live, I believe, but it's 3.6 is where they're planning to have the new hair tech that they had been working on recently for like Twitch Pacheco. There's more stuff they're working out with splines and stuff for hair and some crazy hair tech they might put in eventually, but that's not confirmed. Do you know anything about the 3.6 new helmet HUD? Only that they're trying to streamline and make the HUDs better for the game. It's not just the helmet HUD, there's loads of HUDs are getting reworks. Yeah, the idea is that information will have value to NPCs, but also players, and that information will be tangible. So it can be locations of surveyed asteroids, of locations for potential bases, or points of interest, or wormholes and jump points that you've discovered. How extensive will food prep be? What type of food will be available? Will we be able to grow food? There's going to be farming in game. We don't know to what extent our characters will need to eat or how regularly. We know that there will be light survival mechanics. We will need to eat and drink, and it is recommended to shower and wash. Our crew will be eating and drinking, and it's believed that crew that don't have access to being able to sleep or food or rest will slowly get worse and worse and worse and worse at their particular task. You can have them battle ready constantly if you wanted, but they'd get worse and worse and worse the more they didn't rest. We don't know if there'll be types of food, or if it will be more sort of like you buy foodstuffs and lots of different procedural food appears in players. They joked about having procedural food before, but I actually think it will probably be semi-procedural, the food. It'll be like, this guy's making this particular meal. Pretty simple. It's not going to be fucking full chefing. I doubt it. A full chef. You can cut all the food, you can place it in your hangar. Should we read anything into the PTU extension date by the 5th of May, or is it arbitrary? I believe it is entirely arbitrary. When 3.5 comes out, do we have to download the entire game again? No, it will update from your 3.4 branch, if you've got that already installed, or you can copy the PTU over, change the name of the folder, or copy it over to your Star Citizen folder, and then it will update straight from that. In Lawville, around the Metro Centre, the transit system hints at the industry line. Where do you think that will lead? And what can we do there? Another area of Lawville that they'll probably eventually open, and it will lead to an industrial sector or area, where there'll probably be other shops and mission givers, things like that. That's what I'd expect. Thoughts on where CIG will draw the line on companion apps and cheating, like apps? Okay, so that's an interesting one. I don't know specifically about the Elite Dangerous data provider app too much, but I suspect that they will there'll be loads of external apps and things and API grabs for information. I'm not sure whether they're going to join the line. I suppose it's anything that doesn't directly affect your ability to aim. It's going to be like cheating in, I don't know. Sharing of information is not going to be illegal or anything. Cheating. So yeah, anything that externally affects your skill. So physically aims for you, autopilots your ship for you, things like that. What's my Redeemer rework prediction? Well, we know they're making it into a full-on gunship rather than a dropship. I suspect it will have a fuck ton of guns, and I suspect it will look similar-ish, but look reasonably different. Bored, will we be able to enhance our character's DNA at some point to help with survival needs also? There might be medical services, there might be insurance and stuff like that to help with your survival needs, but I don't think anything particular with DNA. I don't know exactly what you mean. Oh, I don't think there's going to be that kind of buffs from augments of your character now. It would just be what gear you've got. You can have great armor, you can have big suits and fucking the mech armor, I can't remember what they're called, Titan suits. You have cool weapons and gear. I mean, there might be items that give you small buffs, but if they do have any buffs or augments, they'll probably be very, very tiny. NPC morale has been linked to sleep, food, and commodities, as you just mentioned. What are your thoughts on ship and hull components quality on NPC morale? I suspect that if components keep on breaking down and stuff like that, then NPCs will have less time to sleep or do their duties properly, so that might have some knock-on effects there. I don't think that the hull components will have much of an effect beyond what facilities they have access to. When do I think base building will be introduced? I don't know. I mean, obviously they've got outposts, and they need to expand that system out a little bit more. They were planning last year to put in land claims in-game and have some land claim gameplay mechanics, but obviously that got pushed back. We don't know where to. They need to have land claims first, potentially surveying some legal stuff to do with land claims and some gameplay there, and then a little bit later down the line we'll get base building, but I don't know when. Do you think the end of 2020 is realistic time for the beta and the release of Squadron 42? I think the end of 2020 is a realistic time for Squadron 42 Episode 1 to be released, yes. Will CIG sell the Kraken again this year? Almost certainly, yes. Do you think we'll get location persistence that is currently working? Because even the save system in ship doesn't work if you're like log off for 1 or 2 days. We'll have to wait and see. They apparently they've done some stuff to the hangars. Well, they've done some stuff to the ships and the habs so that they don't clear them up. They don't get wiped off. So we'll have to wait and see. If you log off for long periods of time, I'll do that on one of my accounts. So I'll have one of my accounts logged off for like a week and see if it saves my hangar, my hab. Does CIG still think you'll be able to have your own shopping game? Well, we know that that's the plan for the Banu Merchantman. They will literally have on shops aboard. I am expecting that there will almost certainly be player shops that you can have in-game, whether that be outpost-based, whether that be, maybe, there will be locations in the major landing zones which are player-run, or that, like a markets, whatever, that players can have outposts and bits in. That would be fucking amazing if you can have shops and stuff like that there. Did you ever broadcast on Chatterbait? I'm sure I've seen you there. No. And I would be proud if I had. I've never used any of those weird chat roulette or anything services. If I had, I'd probably have monetized it in some way on my YouTube channel or something else. Yeah, I haven't. Why do some ships like the... Oh, nice question. Which branch is physical ship components scheduled for? I've seen some work. Seen someone on the work they have done. I've seen some of the work they've done on the Terrapin for this. So the Terrapin is going to be the first ship they actually have physicalized components on. That's the plan, anyway. Is it 3.8 at the moment that they've got physicalized components planned? Physical inventories are planned for 3.7, which is player based. I'm not sure when physical components are coming, but they wanted them originally for the end of this year, but I don't think they've... Yeah, they don't know. I don't know. I think there's a potential that they'll be done by the end of this year. Physicalized components. We'll see it first on the Terrapin. At least that's what they've suggested. Yeah. What is your realistic prediction timeframe for a Persistent Universe final release? There's never going to be a final release. Like, they're going to keep on updating it. Something that we would consider an on-the-shelf release. Probably about, realistically, with what they're doing, 3 years' time, 2.5 years' time. Hey Bored, I was following the development of the game since 2015. Should I wait until Q1 2020 to try it out? Do you think the game will have its foundation features by then? Yeah, I do. I think they're trying to get Squadron 42's content all sorted. I think you'll have a significant portion of the foundational features for Q1 2020 for Star Citizen. How long until they fix the AI and the PU? That's what they're working on at the moment. You get some odd questions, but it is sort of like an AMA, so, you know. The plan on making silencers for guns. I would expect to see that. We are going to start to see weapon modding in 3.6. Attachments? Yeah, weapon attachments in 3.6, so in June. So silencers might be part of that. Or at least eventually might be part of that. Why are the Banner Merchantmen and Carrack relatively cheap, considering what they do? So some of the older ships were priced in a different way. The newer ones are more expensive. They keep jacking the price up now. And the Banner Merchantmen, the Carrack will go up in price very steeply, I suspect, in the near future. Know anything new about the Vulcan? No, I don't. I know... obviously, it's going to be their sort of like premium drone ship for repair, refuel, and rearm. It's going to be very popular in the game. I don't know much about it beyond that, production-wise. Much word on changes coming to the Vanguard Warden in 3.6. So they have reworked pretty much everything from the cockpit seat back, apparently now. All of the ships are getting the hoplites rear larger ramp. And they're making them more relevant for the game. So big changes to the Vanguard series. Or at least the Vanguard Warden and the Vanguard variants that aren't the hoplite. I don't think the hoplite will see much change. See any materials updates and that sort of stuff though. Do you think they already have jump points in Squadron 42? Since I presume some of the campaign is not within the Odin system, and 4.0 would bring them into the PU. I don't think that the patch numbers mean anything. So 4.0, 4.1, whatever, in the future, it doesn't matter. It's just every 3 months they release a major update. Yeah, I suspect there will be jump points in Squadron 42, and I suspect they have some bodged single-player version of a jump point already in-game for them. You know, if or when the Sable will go on sale this year. Yeah, it should go on sale a couple of times at least this year. Definitely around November time when they do their big sales for the year. Will stealth components be available for all ships, or will they be limited to certain ships? You'll see, so stealth in game is all about systems management and managing your IR, EM, and cross-section. There might be some other components which help reduce those signatures further. Some ships will have access to a load of them, some will have access to a few of them, but you'll have a good selection of components. Even if they're not stealth, they'll still be good for those things. Very, very important question, board. You're going for tea shortly. How do you take it if you can say what brand or other brands are available? What? I'm just having some tea. Having some black organic tea. I don't even fucking remember what it's called. My mum buys it for me. It has since I was like, I don't know, 19. Other brands are available. What do you expect to see at Citizencon? I'd like to see aliens. I'd like to see animals. I'd like to see some cool new planets and biomes. And I'd like to see jump points. That is what I'm after. We'll probably see some Squadron 42 stuff as well, though, because, you know, it'll be pushing for release. They see something like... Did they say something like Questplay found something like found a dungeon or market in map with a special price in med? I don't know what though. Can you rephrase that question, Ruben? Because I'm having problems keeping track of it in my head. So while streaming at 1440p, in one of the most intensive areas in the game, I'm getting 58 frames a second, almost 60 in the hab. If I wasn't streaming, I'd probably be 65 to 70. I'm using CPU encoding, so it's a lot more intensive. Yeah, I've got a 1080 Ti and an 8700K. Any plans that the top of the org can give medals to their members? Oh, I don't know. There's supposed to be the ribbon boards and things like that, and achievements you can get in Squadron 42 and potentially in game. I suspect orgs will be able to do that even if they, you know, doesn't really happen in game. But maybe, I don't know. Let's give something to someone. Say this is a trophy for this. A little bit of role play involved. Carrick taking the first jump point to Piracy system during Citizencon keynote this year. That'll be cool. That would be cool, wouldn't it? What year would be too much to finish Star Citizen? 100 systems by. I don't really know. Yeah, 2025. I'd want 100 systems by. I don't really care as long as there's enough content for me to do. I don't mind them having plans for 100 systems as long as there's like 20 systems for me to play in, and that's a huge amount of area and gameplay. It's not just about the star systems, it's about what's in them, what's generated in them. Don't need a huge amount of them. They've got plans for 100 and they keep on expanding it out and expanding out every 3 months or so, or every month or so. Another star system, yeah. 10 star systems a year would be great. Just need to start with a medium amounts, like, you know, 20 or 30 or so. What features, ships, and locations do you think will come over to the game from Squadron 42 when Squadron 42 is released? I think they sort of share the tech from there anyway. The big thing that we'll probably notice is capital ships once they have server meshing or whatever tech they need to get capital ships in. Server-side object container streaming and full persistence is probably what they're after. And the stations to be able to dock ship to station properly with. They just, everything in Squadron 42, polish, the engine stuff, all of it will come over to Persistent Universe at some point. Gameplay area, pretty much everything. Squadron 42 is just more cinematic. It's got famous characters in. It's more story-led and sort of like on rails. More on rails than the universe is. Medium mining ships, yeah, I think medium mining ships are very likely to be a thing. Will we be able to use satellites to help scan planets? Maybe. But I mean, I think surveying is going to be very hands-on, having players go down to the surface, use specific ships and equipment to do that. You drink too much fizz cola on ArcCorp, will your character get diabetes? I don't think they've got diabetes planned as a debuff in the game. Any info on the Carrack? Beyond that, they've got it. Is it 3.8? They've got it planned for now. Yeah, they've got it planned for 3.8. There was a load of information on it in the monthly report. 1 second, I've got my notes here. Work is progressing on the Carrack, which has now had the whole of the engineering section and the rear done to grey box, and the habitation deck is only missing the captain's quarters to be grey box complete. And then it will go on to final art. Or we'll go into the next phase, final arts, and then be completed for 3.8. Looks like it's progressing pretty well. What do you think Microtech City will look like? Seems to be way more different than what we will see in Lawville and Area 18. So let me try and answer this. So bear with me. Pop up. Monthly reports. So this, I believe, is the tube station in Microtech. So you can see there's like whites and greys. I believe this is going to be the public transport area. So it's very Lawville-like, but with sort of like circular carriages. Seen. We've seen various things from Microtech. So we've seen the sort of like Nordic forests. This is some of the original old concept art that they were making for it. So like domed cities, domed structures, some of the highland fields. It's going to be quite frosty and tundry as well. There are going to be sections of all of the highland type areas. This is some of the concept art I like the most, like frozen seas, not entirely frozen though, very sort of like Arctic. But yeah, that's what I think will look like, very clean, like you're in a medical facility. I think we'll see the dynamic mission system catering for very exclusive, very elite hard missions. I think we'll also see them just posted on the board in general. I think some missions will be very, very, very hard, and you'll have to work that out, and you'll get paid appropriately for them. How do you think? And you'll find missions and other opportunities during missions as well, and during exploring, you'll be like, oh, there's something here. It doesn't necessarily have to be a mission for you to go and find an area or an outpost that you've sort of like seen information hinted at. Find there, you can store all the loot inside. How long do you think Squadron 42 will be playtime wise? I think they originally said like 70 hours if you did a full playthrough, like bled the game, sort of drive content maybe. I think probably 30 to 40 hours would be fucking amazing. Yeah, I think realistically 30 to 40 hours is what I'd expect. I don't want to talk Star Wars or politics on my channel at the moment. God, which has apparently become the same thing. is hypothermia in? Hypothermia is not currently in the game, but they do want environmental conditions and weather and environmental effects affecting players. So there's likely to be stuff that is cold that will injure you or potentially kill you, and protections from that. When can I spend entire days buying little toys from vending machines? That'll be interesting, and I suspect there'll also be jobs to stock those machines. A frost gun, not that we've seen. There's going to be a microwave gun, so you get your melter guns from 40k. I believe there's going to be a microwave gun. I think that's what it was. Do we have any other questions? I will go through some stuff I want to chat about in the meantime. So this is important. And do not say I did not warn you about this. So $0 CCUs are going. So if you bought a CCU $0 upgrade, so literally for $0 on the ship upgrades thing. So you've got like a, I don't know, a Banu Merchantman to a Carrack or something. And they were both $350 because I think they were at one point. Both $250 or something. You know what I mean? We've got a ship that you've got an upgrade for. If that's $0, they will be being deleted from your account if they have not been applied on the 1st of May. So make sure you apply them. I probably will do another video about that just to warn people. Check that out there. Anything else that I wanted to majorly talk about? Newsletter in general. We had the cool Vandal model, which is amazing. I fucking love it. Lots of international things which I didn't understand. 3.5 still isn't out. It is to the PTU though. Going to 3.5 live anytime now. The Corsair is still on concept sale until the 22nd of April. The some of the 3.5 ships, specifically the Reliance series, are available at the moment. Citizencon is on the 27th of this month and is a Star Citizen fan fest, which I'm going to, which I love very much, up in Manchester. Some of the exhibitors are going to be there are Special Effects and JR Design and Fabrication. JR Design and Fabrication makes some awesome things. Let's see if I actually have more Citizencon stuff. So, JR Design and Fabrication are licensed by CIG, it seems, to produce Star Citizen props officially. So they make silly computer crates, computer cases and storage crates and fridges and props for like desks and things, all branded with Star Citizen, Microtech, Drake type stuff. All pretty cool, but they are also, it seems, and they made like the 1/4 sized saber, and they made the seatable dragonfly. They are also starting to produce, it seems, model kits officially for CIG. Look to be 3D printed. I want to buy this one. So the first one they're going to be doing, it goes on pre-sale on Monday, and it is for a Grey Cat buggy. I will be buying one to see its quality. I've been collecting 40k for years. I still collect. I'm pretty good at painting and modelling and assembling stuff. So I will tell you of its quality. I do like JR and Cows, who run the company. They are good people. I think Moist Noodle works for them as well now. So, yeah, I will link you that page. But yeah, so they're going to be at Citizencon as well. They made like cool little games consoles and things like that as well. But they do all the installation work, or a lot of the installation work, at Citizencon as well, it seems. Else I wanted to majorly talk about. You know, we've got a load of the roadmap 3.9 stuff on the board now, which is kind of cool. Nothing there we didn't really expect to see there, though. We've got Microtech and got new Babbage landing zone, an updated version of that for 3.9. It should be coming in 3.8, the first iteration, but a much better one for 3.9. We're getting Crusader and Horizon for 3.9 as well. And the Drake Vulture and Constellation Taurus for there as well. And lots of economy-based stuff. Lots of use of rendered to texture tech, stuff like that, which should be pretty slick. Driver flare this month is little trousers, lovely little rust trousers. Anything else they desperately wanted? Corsair, I do like the Corsair. I think it's going to be a very popular ship. It's going to be pretty multi-role. I think it'll be a great alternative to the Constellation. 5 steps of sail. I love Shadow. Shadow's the cloud gaming service, which I keep on talking about. You can have your crappy PC or your phone or your smart TV, whatever, taken over by a gaming PC that you've leveraged on the interwebs. So you don't need to upgrade anymore. It's the idea. Or buy a gaming rig. It's a subscription-based service. Use the code BoredGamer if you do decide to check it out. Woo! Love you, Shadow. Works really great with 3.5. The latest 3.2. The latest GeForce drivers, 425.31, have the ability for Generation 10 cards to use ray tracing, but it's crap. It's crap for them because they don't have the correct cores and stuff. But those drivers do seem to be pretty slick for just general gaming. If you've got a Series 10 card or Series 20 card. Those Red Cat Industrial buggies look to be £50 plus tax and shipping. So that's according to Reddit. Slick. I use these DPS calculators and hardpoint.io, which I've just deleted for some reason, to aid me in understanding meta quite often. There was recently tickets that went on sale for a Aegis event on the 24th of August. So like a concierge event. I think there was very few tickets. 135 tickets in total. So they were €250 each. And they sold out almost immediately every time. It's going to be where they reveal a new Aegis ship, which we assume is going to be an Aegis carrier. Although it could be the Redeemer or something like that. I think it's probably going to be an Aegis carrier. And it's a concierge event, so it'll be like a dinner, an intimate sort of like QA with Chris Roberts and the studio tour, stuff like that. Very cool for people that go there. The reason it's expensive is because there's going to be a dinner there, and I suspect that the drinks have there and stuff like that. So, not to make any money for CIG, is what I'm saying. Sandy did a Italian Q&A for the Italian community. Go link here. I do not speak Italian. I want someone to translate that for me at some point. And yeah, that's all I desperately wanted to talk about, I think. I'll look at the other questions we have popping up. When will they stop the tree rocks and popping in at certain distances of views on planets? They are working on that. I know they want to try and minimize that as much as possible. I'm not sure that they need clever levels of detail. If Chris Roberts builds it, will they come? I mean, he's been building it, and they have been coming even before it's finished. So yes. You have to eat in Star Citizen. Will there be vegan options? Oh my god, probably actually. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that, love. Is there any other questions that anyone had about anything? You love all your faces. It's very much appreciated joining me here. Been so many videos I want to do, but I've been waiting for 3.5 live recently. I think I appreciate everyone sticking with the channel. Like, I know I've been getting a lot of content out still, but I have been absolutely shattered. I'm helping look after my dad. And there's been a lot of stuff that's been tiring me out recently, so I do appreciate you sticking with the channel, even if the content has suffered a bit for it. Whether or not it's a little bit less, a little bit more lackluster, or you can see that or whatever, I don't know. But I do appreciate it. I do appreciate all the donations and the Patreons and subscriptions and the YouTube joins, which does help a lot. I'm doing okay, thank you very much, Randy. Still, just tired. Oh, look, I start talking about thank you and people start chucking money at me. Nick Distra, looking forward to the new info on Citizencon. Love your face. Yeah, so hopefully, well, I'm at Citizencon, which is going to be on the 27th. I'll be taking the 26th and 27th off. And I'll try and get a video up on the 28th if I can. I'll try and talk to any devs that I can. I'll try and get as much content as I can out of the event. I do have a proper camera now, so I have to wait and see exactly what I can grab, even if it's just a summary of the event. Hopefully, and of the panels. There should be some tangible questions I can ask. If you've got any questions you want to ask, you can send them to me at contact@boredgamer.co.uk or just in the comments below. That also works. I don't think there's going to be any forms of cannibalism in the game, but there might be. Who knows? But there might be a mission where there's like a cannibal involved. Will Star Citizen development go faster after Squadron 42 is released? I mean, it's got a load of its core done. It'll probably seem faster, if anything else. How many planets and locations do you think there will be transferred from Squadron 42 on release to the Persistent universe? More tech than planets and locations. Lots of tech, lots of biomes and stuff. Now, obviously, the Odin system will be more fleshed out, but I'm not sure when they're going to actually release the Odin system. Thanks for all you do, Board. Thank you very much, Roundabout. Is there anywhere you have your setting up and programs used for Star Citizen, trying to game in 4K? You'd be more specific. What you want, like, would I use, like, OBS for recording, streaming? I could do it. I can put that up on my website at some point and put up my settings for it. That's that pretty quickly and easily. You look sick. Are you heading towards a breakdown? No more than normal. I'm just relatively unhealthy. I'm very tired. I've been looking after my dad recently. I do have mental health issues. I am bipolar, or what used to be called manic depressive. I sometimes don't sleep. And sometimes I'm sort of like semi-crazy, what people would probably deem it as anyway. But pretty good at managing myself now. I'm pretty happy. But no, not heading towards a breakdown. I think I'm pretty stable. More stable than I've ever been in my life. Do you draw or paint? Board art. No, I game and I paint models. I do like 40k stuff. Doing a little goblin, Gretchen army. 40k at the moment. Killer cans and Gretchens. Have you ever considered moving to the new D-Live platform? It's funny you should say that, because I was just looking at it today. And well, I looked at it the other day when PewDiePie said he was going to move over to it. Looking at it, and it's all blockchainy, isn't it? Yeah, I could potentially stream on other platforms as well. I'll look at D-Live. I didn't see anyone streaming Star Citizen on it when I looked the other day, so... Yeah, I want some more community content, well, more video content from CIG, looking at plans for ships, looking at plans for gameplay content, plans for gameplay loops, design documents on farming, surveying, outpost building, all those individual gameplay, science, all that sort of stuff individually. Tell us what those things are. Calling all devs was great. Around the verse is great. Want all of that. Want all of that and more. There's a dogfight between an arrow and a buccaneer. Which one are you in? Probably the buccaneer. I do like the look of the arrow more, but I like the firepower of the buccaneer more. What's the idea of harvestable items feature coming in the new patch? So this will be sort of like areas where things effectively regrow and respawn, I think. And the placement of mining nodes, but also gatherable and harvestable nodes. It could be plants, things like that as well, because there's going to be persistence of items, so you can grab stuff. Maybe you can grab stuff for missions. Maybe you can harvest wood or whatever. Favorite ale? Don't really have a favorite ale. I drink beer. I like cider the most. Like a good bourbon. Like a good spiced rum. Like a good dark rum. Are there plans to make mining less crashy? Well, in particular, crashed 10 times in a row. I'll mess around with mining tomorrow in the latest patch. Backers and supporters help to develop the game. Do you think it's possible that going forward, players in the game could create an org so large that CIG could make an offer to the Orgs League to be purchased and rolled into the game as a permanent force in the PTU, like the UEE? I think that will sort of happen. I don't think that there'll be any money changing hands or anything, but I think orgs will just declare themselves like that, won't they? Oh, you little mechy robots in your 40Ks. Will there ever be a Star Citizen weapon that samples your pew pew pew? Pew pew pew! We'll just make our own. We'll change all the sounds as we can. If there's any way of hacking into the sounds, and I go pew 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 for the lasers, then I will. If my 6-month insurance runs out, will I lose my ship if it blows up? Will I be able to get it back? Okay, so if your 6-month insurance runs out on your ship when the game is sort of live, and you haven't bought insurance, there's the potential that you could lose your ship when it blows up. However, they've talked about sort of like potential statutory insurance for ships, being able to get them back in some ways. Maybe it take a long time to get back. Maybe you have to pay a reasonable amount of in-game credits. So we don't 100% know how insurance is going to work yet, especially with ships people have purchased. Will the Mako have a video editing bay mechanic? So the Mako is going to have the console, you can see in the middle of it, with lots of screens on, so that you can have lots of video streams and stuff. We're not sure how it's going to work, though. We don't know how those mechanics are going to work, whether it's just going to be remote controlling cameras, or whether it's going to be editing stuff, or multiple feeds, or some other interesting mechanic, or if you're going to be able to Twitch stream from it. Keep him cheered up with cat pics and shit posts, yes. Please feel free to join my Discord, discord.gg/BoredGamer. It's all welcome. I will... 3.5 going live. We're going to start playing regularly during the day. If people are in the Discord and they want to play with me, they are more than welcome to. I'll be filming random B-roll and stuff for footage and background stuff. What's the Astartes short film? Is it the one that's broken up into parts? If it is, then yes, it looks very cool. I'm very much enjoying. They're so short though. I want to see more.
Beautiful.
Yes. Thank you very much for the cheer, the shitpost cheer. Appreciate it, Dalamars. Ships rotate now before entering quantum travel. What are they aligning with? The destination, the orbital plane. This is only when they're going to planets and moons, I believe. And I don't know exactly what they're aligning to, but it's obviously stopping them from going mad, and they'll tweak that so it's more realistic and sensible.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you very much, Mantis. Bits posting. Thank you very much for the cheer. Very much appreciated. And thank you very much for all of the thank you very much for all of the bits and donations throughout the stream. It's very much appreciated. I will at some point try and do I don't know, push for YouTube joins and I don't know. It's always weird to like go, yeah, give me regular monthly money. So if people want to do that, they can do the Patreon, which is very appreciated. People want to support the channel on Patreon, especially seeing I'm taking on someone full time. That would be fucking amazing. January and February we see a drop off of Patreons, and then when they start producing content again and putting major patches out again, I see the Patreon creep back up. Some people have moved on to Subscribestar as well, so I need to promote some stuff, keep myself paid and relevant. But yeah, I'll stop complaining about me having to play computer games all day for money, because I do love what I do. Could the no-fly height be tied to ship speed. So you could go lower within limits if you go slower. I mean, they might tweak and change some of those elements. Obviously, at the moment, when you get to a certain level, sort of like autopilot pulls you away. So there might be a bit of ease to get a little bit lower if you drive slower in the future. They might tweak and see what works. I suppose they could just, the deeper you are into a no-fly zone, the lower your maximum speed is until you can't go into a particular direction anymore. That would work, I assume. Aluminium or aluminum. Aluminum. Aluminium. Aluminium. Is Patreon better for you rather than subs via Twitch? Yes, Patreon is probably Patreon, subscribe star, direct donation. It's probably best. And then YouTube join, and then Twitch subs. Twitch subs are probably the worst for me, but it's whatever people are comfortable with. That's the only reason you give all of the things to people. It's because some people prefer certain methods than others. And I want to get as much of my fandom's money as possible to help pay me for stuff. I mean, that's literally it, isn't it? I love what I do. I think it's great, but you know, it is monetized for a reason. I've never been ashamed of that. I always say stuff honestly and directly. I don't live for the clicks and the views or anything, but I produce content based on a niche, knowing that people want to watch it and they will watch it. So I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. I am planning greater and greater works. That's one of the reasons I want Zin, is because then I can play and stream every day. Well, I can stream a lot more, and streaming is very financially lucrative, but also quite fun and a little bit more mindless than planning YouTube videos. But I can get better shots for the videos, I can get more videos done, more work done, and I'm looking to expand what I do. But yeah. Torch or flashlight? Torch. What I refer to as. Tire or tire? Tire with a Y. Torch. What? Do you like my sexy mic? Excited for the A90 jump? Could you elaborate if yes? Yes, because I have one. It's going to be a massive beast for the ship, 195 meters. It's going to be amazing as just a general place to film content from and to explore the universe in. And it will probably be very, very popular on using it on stream and messing around in the universe. That's what I want to do. I want to create content on Star Citizen more than I probably want to play Star Citizen. And obviously they're very related. But thank you very much. I love you, Huntress. Oh, you little subber. Thank you very much. Love your face. And thank you very much. You see 7. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. That ship is badass. Indeed it is. I'm very, very excited for it. I am just about to go offline though, Huntress. I love your face. Huntress is sort of like my chief mod and very much appreciated and allows me to do lots more stuff and manages my community very well. Something which I will be leveraging a bit better once 3.5 comes out. So hopefully this week we'll start to play during the week a lot more. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all the kind. Where is that hair? What are you chatting about? She's not chief shitposter. She's just very good at being a conservative shitposter. Anyway. Oh yeah, you have to have SSD. Well, you don't have to have an SSD for Star Citizen, but it's massively recommended beyond most other things I can think of. I do love your faces, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you've got any questions, you can contact me at contact@boredgamer.co.uk or on the Discord, discord.gg/boredgamer. The podcast that I'm developing, I've posted some bits up about that to people that ask Patreons and YouTubers, and my VIPs is basically what I deem anyone that goes beyond the pale. But basically, I'm going to have a guest or two each week. It will be hosted with me and the guests sort of thing. Zin will probably be part of it at some point and either co-hosting it with me or her opinions will be heavily featured.
I'm going to buy so many spaceships.
Love your face.
Thank you very much, 555. Why is your name Slipjig? It's easier than I thought. I saw it at the corner and there was just lots of letters pointing upwards and I got a bit confused. Slipjig 555. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. I'll put it into buying hair products or something. When can we expect to see the Corsair released? We don't really know. The Drake pipeline is very refined, though. The ship's pretty simple, doesn't require any new tech. So you could see it as early as the middle of next year, but probably more late next year. That's what I'd expect. Wouldn't be doing a job if you weren't shitposting. But it's very much appreciated, Huntress. I love your face. You are a legend amongst mortals. But yeah. Podcast. Probably going to have segments that are partly voted on each week by the community. It's going to be very community orientated. So questions taken from community live, but also pre-submitted, same as the topics. There'll be some segments which are constant each week or each fortnight. Haven't decided how regular it's going to be. It's all going to be Star Citizen relevant and based. So there might be some stuff that is, but it's all going to be Star Citizen. So if it's slightly related to Star Citizen, it sort of counts. But it's going to be focused on Star Citizen. It's not going to be like, what's your favourite tea brand? What did you do before Star Citizen, if I have a dev one? I'm not going to be asking those questions. I want gameplay answers. I want to know things about the game. I want content. I want Star Citizen. I don't want to know what YouTubers have been doing before they've been on Star Citizen. It's all going to be Star Citizen focused. Probably. And the length of time, probably an hour to up to an hour and a half sort of thing. We just sort of like let it run for as long as it wants. Yeah, I'll get involved with some of the other YouTubers and podcasters as well to get them involved with some of it. And I'll appear on other people's podcasts still. Wing Commander available to play on in-game arcades. Thanks to your dedication and time. What? Oh, I hope so. I hope we can play Wing Commander in-game. That would be fucking great. Assuming that they doesn't have an IP issue. Klondike Bar, what are we talking about? What's going on? Huntress does speak the truth. Or at least, not the truth we need, but the truth we deserve. No, not the truth we deserve, but you know what I mean. Fuck you. What I mean. Thank you very much for watching. Very much appreciated. I've gone off the rails. Vault's gone mad. Ah! Alright, I'm gonna go and get food. I'm gonna have a drink. Maybe a beer. I love you guys. You take care. Wait, actually, before you take care, let me find someone to stream. Restream. De-stream. Bam. To stream. No, that's me talking about me. We will go and give Scorpion some love. He's there. Bam. Gonna go host Scorpion. Love you guys. You take care. Oh, Kelly, I was talking about I was talking about your stuff earlier. You missed it, or maybe you didn't. Like promoting your stuffs. Kelly's in chat. We're gonna go. They've noticed before me, but they make the cool things, and on Monday they're starting to sell. Well, they're doing a pre-sale for the Grey Cat buggies. We might start to see more and more Star Citizen merchandise from them. But they make official Star Citizen merchandise, or at least officially licensed. So, check them out. Give them some love. Anyway, kisses. Save all your kisses for me. Save all your kisses for free. I don't know how the song goes.
I can't.
It doesn't matter. Don't know what this is. Don't want that. Bam. Bam.